Oh, holy shit balls. Well, that was just a mite unexpected, wasn't it? Apparently Ymir is a Titan. Spoiler warning. Too late. Yeah, episode 29, season 2, Attack on Titan. And I'm like, watching this episode with all of these characters holed up in this, these castle ruins, and they are fucked. They are penultimately fucked. We start the episode just where we left off in the previous, knowing that they are penultimately fucked. Little could they have guessed how fucked they would in fact become. Like waves of Titans, waves of them coming one after the other. The second, even bigger, a whole group twice as large, I think they said, as the previous one that most of their, scouts had managed to take out. That actually shocked me. I was actually surprised that they were that efficient to have taken out so many of these Titans, but it was all for naught. You got the Beast Titan apparently looting farmhouses again, throwing horses at people, things of that nature, and boulders, and much as I said, I called him King Kong, making like King Kong going up the wall, and of course then he screams. I was just waiting for him to go, like, I mean, just shy of that. He was King Kong in it like a motherfucker. And he's launching horses and sending, for all intents and purposes, I have to assume he's sending the Titans their way, at them all and everything. And they, of course, then flashback, which is a little bit annoying. I'm getting a little tired of them doing that every episode. It's like, here's what's happening now. Let's go back to 24 hours earlier, or 22 hours, or whatever it is, 15 hours. And everyone's sitting around and they're talking about somebody's been here before. Well, who has been there before? Why would they call attention to that? And with the suspicion that maybe this Beast Titan is a human turning into a Titan or something like that, or a human turning into a Titan that then turns into a larger Titan, whatever it is. All the crazy, speculations that I can like pull out of my ass and grasping at straws. Who might that be? Why call attention to that? Somebody had been there. Somebody had drank all the alcohol and everything that they found, the stash, the contraband as they call it. And, of course, not that they could partake in it anyway, because they're all sort of on duty. They're protecting, Connie and Ymir and Krista and everything. And, it's just, all hell is about to break loose, and oh my god, no holds barred does it break loose with this first, sort of force of Titans, and all the scouts, like I say, they manage to wipe the floor with them for the most part. You get a couple of them that actually break through the doors, and I hate, I'm not even kidding, I loathe, I despise the ugliness of these Titans. Their toothy grins when they realize there's food, and what is their food? The human beings and everything. Reiner goes down and he checks the door. The stupid motherfucker checks the door. He opens the door and there's this Titan. All happy to see him. Like when you're smelling that fresh turkey on Thanksgiving, like this thing just ear to ear grins and like, I'm gonna have you, Like they find a cannon that hasn't been used in God knows how long. There's no way to fire anything, propel any weapons out of it. Just use the whole damn cannon down the stairs and crushes this Titan and everything. And Reiner, I think at one point he saves Connie, and he's flashing back again, an episode racked with flashbacks, flashing back to a time when he was saved, and now he's kind of conducting himself similarly. So saves Connie, gets a nice big bite in his arm for his efforts and everything. And then, like, I love how he, like, Schwarzenegger style, hoists this second Titan up over his shoulders. And he's going to take a leap right, out the window and everything. And, of course, Connie, with the one knife they have, the one little steak knife they have, cuts the jaw so you can get his arm back out. And I think it's Ymir kicks this thing out the window instead. And, I mean, they're surviving literally by the skin of their teeth, or the skin of the Titan's teeth in any case. And I'm just like, how the hell? We know that some other, parties are on their way, Eren, Mikasa, and all that kind of stuff. They're coming. They're not going to get there in time. I already said they're probably not going to get there in time. If they do, they're going to probably get there right at the last few minutes, to watch everyone dying and then be like, we got stuff to do elsewhere, so let's just go, But we don't see any of them, hide nor hair of them. They don't get there at all in this episode. And the entire time, the time we're spending with Ymir has me just like, what's going on with this bitch? From Connie's talking about the strangeness of, his town, the way they found it. It was all havoc wrought all over the place. It was all rubble and ruins and everything, but there wasn't one sign of a single human body having been eaten. There wasn't any remains anywhere, any blood splatter anywhere. There was just the one sort of chicken titan, if you will, using his house, the former remains of his house, as a bed, and or an easy chair, depending. Couldn't move of its own volition. And of course, we, the viewer, know that in that moment of intimacy, he hears this thing calling out to him, and he's trying to bring this up. He's trying, I'm like, yeah, hello, say something about it for crying out loud. And Reiner's kind of putting the cap on it, like, shut the hell up. You're still going to be talking about that. And then there is Ymir laughing her ever-loving ass off, cackling like a fucking crazy woman. And I'm like, what the hell is with this bitch? Like, why is she reacting? And then she's like, finger pointing at him, are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? You think that could be your mother? You think that could be... Almost implying to my mind, oh, you think it could be a human being that turned into a titan? Don't you know better? Don't you know that kind of thing doesn't happen in these parts and everything? And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why are you acting like this? Taking note, by the way, of the fact that what they were talking about in one of the previous episodes that they're trying to keep an eye on, and you're kind of misdirected. I thought it was Krista they were talking about. But in fact, it was Ymir that they're trying to, air quotes, keep an eye on, unless Krista also has some Titan form that she's kept hidden and deep down within her. I don't know whether she even knew that Ymir had this ability. They kind of seem like there's a bond that is much more strengthened than just friendship between them. I don't know how far and wide that goes, but of course Reiner observes that Ymir seems to not be into guys in a similar fashion to how he is not into women, or at least not into her. And so, I mean, for all I know, they could be more than friends. Ymir and Krista, I have no idea. I don't know how far and wide that intimacy went, how deep down the rabbit hole it went for Krista to maybe be aware of this or not, But that cackling laugh, that mocking of Connie, in that moment, sort of belittling the idea that, hey, what if that was my mom? What if that Titan was my mom? Oh, well, then your dad would have had to been a Titan too, and they couldn't have gotten their puds on, What the fuck? I'm like, the way they show everyone's reaction, they're just sort of like, really? Where did this come from all of a sudden? And it seemed really, really odd. The vibe of that whole scene just was like a red flag to me. I'm like, what is going on here? And immediately I called back. I was like, well, what if she's hiding something? What if she knows Krista is a Titan? What if she herself could transform into one, a la, Eren and everything? And sure enough, by the end, as I say, but I was glad that Ymir still stood up. She isn't like there. You run into a situation like with Annie, the Titan runner, where are they going to help their fellow human beings, or are they going to hinder them? Are they going to attack them? When they're up on the roof of that tower after the second tower had been destroyed, and they have all these Titans clamoring around. All of the scouts are now gone. Two of them got killed on impact when the Beast Titan presumably launched a horse or a boulder or whatever it was. The other two go out swinging. Unfortunately, the one guy couldn't even get a drop of alcohol to, ease the burden of being eaten alive. But then, the thing snaps his neck on the way out the wall anyway, or the window, whatever you want to call it. And then the chick screaming, bloody murder, Father, I'll never do it again, I promise, and everything. It's like, oh my God. The base, most primal fears and regrets and all these things, guilt, comes out at the last moment when these people are being literally torn apart, and it's just gruesome. And I have to wonder if this episode wasn't actually tapered back a little bit, because there's that one point where Reiner and his buddy are going to stab the one Titan in the eye with like the pitchfork or whatever it is. And they pull the camera back. They pan it right before that last second, before that you would see that pitchfork going into the eyeball and splattering or whatever like that. And there were a couple of moments like that throughout the episode where I think they dialed back the gore just a tad, not to get it like a really late night rating or have anybody up in arms. This was on TV, over in Japan or whatever. But, I mean, it all culminates with this absolutely insane answering to the other leg drops. It finally answers to this idea. What was up with Ymir? What was she hiding? Was she hiding something? Well, apparently so. She becomes like an eye of the storm, jumps off this tower roof. The last of them are up there figuring this is the end. There's no way they're getting out of this. You know, no more scouts, no more maneuver gear, nothing like that. They are all but fucked. And so she grabs that knife, and because she's been acting so questionable, when she's got that knife, I'm half expecting her to stab Connie in the neck or something. Or like when she starts talking to Krista and she's like, remember our hopes and dreams, this intimate time, which apparently we're going to flash back the next episode. The next episode's probably largely going to be dedicated to fleshing out their history and everything like that, which I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining. It's just, again, we're flashing back again. Let's get some progression here. Instead of falling back, especially if Ymir, which I doubt, is going to die. But, you know, like when she's got the knife and she starts running and like she looks like she's running at Krista. And I'm like, is she going to kill Krista? Is she going to like stab Krista and Krista's the Titan or something like that? I'm just like speculating. Then you see that ball of energy. Like I said, the eye of the storm erupts as she's falling down the side of this building. And of course, the cliffhanger ending is her transforming, mid-transformation, almost complete. The PV shows a little more of what, you know, the next episode is going to open with, her tearing ass with some of these Titans. The question I have is it actually going to help? With all of the Titans that were there, double that first movement that all the scouts managed to take out. There's double the amount of Titans. Then you got the Beast Titan, you know, after he's done satisfying himself throwing horses around, you know, whatever. And I like that they actually, you know, suggested, oh, this seemed to be a strategy. It seemed like they were backed into a corner on purpose, which speaks to the Beast Titan maybe being involved. We know he is the only Titan that seems to be cognizant, that can communicate in this Titan form. And I've been laying out the law of the speculation that he's got to be behind this stuff, you know, to have these people being cornered and, you know, like the strangeness of Connie's town having been destroyed. It wrought havoc completely, you know, from one end to the other. But then there weren't any seemingly lives there, and we go back to Sasha's whole situation and these smaller Titans. I'm wondering, you know, can smaller Titans become larger Titans? Can humans become the smaller Titans and then grow into larger Titans, all of the Beast Titan? You know, when the dude was trying to get the alcohol in this tower, I'm like, I'm half hoping and suspecting, is this actually going to be like some kind of Titan serum where if he drinks it, he'll turn into one, and that'll be who saves the day? This all before, you know, Ymir did her swan song off the building and turning into one herself, cutting her arm and everything. That's what the knife was about. But I mean, it's just, this show is completely fucked up. It's completely fucked up. And I'm always on the edge of my seat watching it. I am always gritting my teeth from all the gore and just how heinous these creatures are against humanity. And it makes it that much harder, especially somebody who likes, like myself, likes the philosophy of Star Trek, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. I would find it really hard to try to be an ambassador to breach a peaceful agreement between any cognizant Titan. You know, I mean, these fucking things are even fighting amongst themselves. You got the two little ones in the woods, and the one's like grabbing the ear, trying to rip the ear off his head, and like he's trying to bite his arm or his hand in reaction to that. It's like they are instinctual, and it's like, what are the origins of their creation? Now, obviously, there is a hierarchy, a different level or different levels of Titan, from the very base, primal, instinctual ones that just sniff out human beings and delight in eating them and will fight amongst themselves and even tear ass amongst themselves. But then you have higher form Titans, which seem to be, you know, commingled with human DNA. It seems to be a hybridization between human form, like Eren, and like, you know, Annie the Titan Runner, and whatever this Beast Titan happens to be seems to almost be propelled another level higher than that. And it's just, well, what the fuck? Who is this? You know, I put forth the speculation, this guy kind of reminds me of Eren's father, and I don't know if, you know, why would Eren's father suddenly, unless maybe it's like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, where he was, you know, conducting experiments with these crazy fucking potions and seeing what would happen if he mixed them together, if a human swallowed them and everything, and just lost control of himself. Maybe he permanently changed himself. I don't fucking know. But if there is any strategizing going on, it seems that it would be most likely the Beast Titan. And I guess they're just damn fucking lucky that, you know, Ymir happened to be there, happened to be so weird. And she also just happened to be one of these changelings that could turn into a Titan and everything. And so, like, holy shit. I think I'm going to be saying that quite a lot for all of the episodes, as little as we have for this second season. I think, holy shit, motherfucker, Jesus Christ. I think these are all of the things I'm going to constantly say in reaction to all of this shit that's happening. And it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, like I said, for the PV of the next episode, it seems like there's going to be a large portion of that episode savoring the relationship between Ymir and Krista, however deep, far, and wide that goes. I don't know, but I guess we will find out. I do hope we get something else, though. I hope we'll see Eren and his whole group, catching up, maybe helping them, maybe saving the day, maybe, allowing for Connie and Krista and Reiner and all this stuff to survive, just barely. I don't fucking know. This show tears all kinds of ass. It leaves me gobsmacked. And as I say, just discomfited anytime humans are being torn apart. But yeah, love to hear from you guys what you thought of this episode, if you've seen it as well. In the comments, anything goes. Just love having that conversation. Otherwise, that's it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.